Hello, everyone. Welcome to Christopher's Entertainment Blog. I am your host, Chris. Welcome to another Walking Dead review for Season 6, Episode 11, entitled Knots Untie. This episode was pretty good, guys. I actually pretty much enjoyed the episode throughout. I didn't really have any negatives, really at all, with this episode. I actually found myself enjoying just watching and finding out what was going to happen next, and this whole episode was just fascinating to me. I mean, it wasn't my favorite since they've come back, but the first episode since the break is my favorite one that they've done, probably the whole season. This episode here, I thought was a pretty good setup episode to set up the next episode, and it seems like this show has that a lot where you have episodes that are this big crescendo, and then they come down a little bit, and then they even out, and then they have these episodes that set up another episode that's a big episode, and then they have another big crescendo episode, and they bring it back down. So this was a nice episode to really find out what the heck is going on with this Jesus character. He's a fascinating character. I want to know more about this guy. He seems believable. He seems likable, and it turns out that he has another group of people, a whole another community, and our group with Rick finds out, well, maybe we can trade with this other group. So they go on this road trip. We find this other group, and they have housing, like FEMA trailers there. They have livestock. How they got cows and chickens and stuff like that, I have no clue, but they did. They have this house that's like it when they opened up the gates of this place. I was like, wow, it's like they're walking into Colonial Williamsburg, because it looked like a plantation house. It looked like something from colonial days. So, and it well, I think it was. So I thought that was kind of cool. This house, it's been around for hundreds of years, is still surviving the apocalypse. So that's funny. I really enjoyed that. This character Gregory, I I'm blanking. I'm forgetting the actor's name, but he gets around different shows, and he's been around for a while. And usually he plays guys that are villains, or guys that are kind of jerks or shady characters. And this guy Gregory is kind of a shady character. At first, I was like, I don't trust this guy one bit. But then we get into, well, he gets shanked by his one of his own people, and on Negan's orders, and we find out that this group has had dealings with the character, this guy Negan, that Daryl and Sasha Abraham had to deal with his group before. So what does our group do? They get, I think they bite off more than they can chew. I really do. They say, well, let's make a deal. We'll help you guys out by getting rid of this Negan character, because he is basically almost like this mobster, because he's coming to these people and saying, for protection, we'll protect you. We won't hurt you as long as you give us food. Okay, so he's kind of like a mob boss a little bit. So Rick and the group say, well, we've killed people before. Who care? We can take care of these people. We'll help you out by taking care of this Negan guy. Will you give us food, medicine, supplies, whatever we need? Okay, they deal they say yes. But here's the thing. Now our group is going off to fight this Negan character. And I think they're biting off more than they can chew. I think they're a little cocky. I think something's bad is going to happen. I think Maggie was even foreshadowing. I mean, I think she said something along the lines of like, we could lose something. This could cost us. This could cost us, or this could cost us dearly, or something. I think it is going to cost them dearly. I know in the comics that Negan takes something away from Maggie that's going to cost her very dearly. So, um, I think that bad things are going to happen. I think they're biting off more than they can chew with this Negan character. I think they can just roll up in there and they can just kill all these guys. I think that's a bad decision. I think something bad's going to happen, and he's going to expose themselves to this Negan that's probably going to take out Alexandria or do something there. And what about the Wolves? They know where Alexandria is. They're still in play. I think some bad things are going to happen. I mean, Rick was a little bit cocky this episode. I mean, he kills that guy. He's got blood all over himself, and he's like, "What?" You know, he was very cocky, very arrogant. I could sense the arrogance in Rick's voice and in the way that they went out through this episode. They really felt like they were badass, that they were the best. So I think they're going to be taken down a notch with this Negan character. I think this is a bad decision. Because I mean, even at the end when Maggie and Glenn they get that sonogram and they're passing it around and everyone's smiling and happy and yeah, I think I think coming up it's going to be a bad thing. Something bad's going to happen. The whole thing with Abraham and Sasha and Rosita thing going on, I like the fact that it's interesting to me. It wasn't a negative to me. I mean, it didn't really bother me that they were focusing on Abraham with this love triangle thing. Like he has feelings for Sasha, and he's trying to find his place in between here. Like who does he want to be with, Rosita or Sasha or whatever? This whole thing, and they were doing these weird flashback things with him, and I think he was trying to find what was going on, like what he felt the whole episode, and yeah, something bad might happen to Abraham coming up, and when we're getting this weird stuff going on with him, anything could happen. So, but I didn't really mind that stuff. I really felt like this episode was really I think Maggie was very good in this episode. It was more Maggie centric because she was the one that was taking control of talking to this Gregory and being authoritative with him and doing negotiations with him. And yeah, I like that we finally got a Maggie centric episode. We haven't got one in a while, so I think Maggie was very strong in this episode. Um, and like the stuff with Abraham, I thought Abraham was very good in this episode too. The stuff with Jesus, I'm liking the Jesus character. I really am. I'm liking him a lot. It seems like he is this guy that is very level-headed and wants to negotiate with Rick and the team and trying to separate bad blood here. I mean, he lets them into the compound with the guns and everything, so he trusts them and he wants to work with them. So I mean, I'm liking this Jesus character. I think he's a cool guy. The group meeting this new group and maybe potentially being able to work with this new group. I think it's going to be cool. But I think the whole episode really was centered around not only Maggie and Abraham, but I think it was centered around we're going to go after this Negan and his group, and I think they're in trouble. I really do. I think they're in trouble. But yeah, guys, no negatives really for me at all. I mean, I didn't really mind anything. It's just, well, I mean, maybe a nitpick negative would be like, they got to this place very conveniently. It was supposed to be a day's ride, and they got there kind of quickly. It seemed like, and then they hit that pothole or whatever and got stuck, and it was like, we're here. So it's like, well, okay, that seemed kind of convenient. Nah, that's about it. But it's not that big a deal. But overall, I really enjoyed the episode. But hey, guys, let me know in the comments what you liked about this episode or what you didn't like about the episode. But that will do it for me for this week. I will see you guys next week for another Walking Dead review. Thanks a lot. Take it easy.